Dear friends, welcome once again to this series of discussions that I've been engaging in. And today I'm going to speak about a topic that is close to my heart, very passionate about, and this is my career passion. I'll be focusing on discussing or giving my suggestions and proposals or interventions on diplomacy in a global crisis. The world is faced with so many challenges, as we all are aware of that. And as diplomats or as aspiring diplomats, we have a responsibility at our hand to make sure that we advocate for peace and um, negotiate or propose not to engage in the last resort. As the say goes, when diplomacy fails, then military or war is when it will start. But that's not the extent that we always want to address issues. I believe we have so many issues, emerging issues. But I believe as diplomats, we have a role to play to ensure that peace prevail in the world. As we all know, where there is peace, there is a development. Where there is war, violence, there is destruction. Contrary to the sustainable development goals that are aiming at promoting the various pillars towards the common vision, if we engage in violence and war, if diplomats fail to do their task, we'll find ourselves in a world that is regressing, moving backwards, as opposed to it's supposed to move forward. So, in any case, I would like to share my opinions on the role of diplomacy in the global or in the new world. For many years, as we all are aware that most of the time, if we talk about diplomacy, um, something that will come in mind is the United Nations Security Council for their resolutions, the different bodies like the European Union, the Asian, the Caribbean, the American, and the African Union, non-alignment movement, and other international organizations. They will come to play, or it will be done through bilateral discussions or negotiations whereby state have to negotiate with another state. And if it's a civil riot or civil war, then we have to get representative from other, if it's in Africa, we have to get representatives from regional bodies such as ECOWAS, the East African states or East African communities, the SADC, the Central region of Africa, they also have a body. The Northern region of Africa, they also have a body. So we look at all these stakeholders' roles in order to find a meaningful solution that will be able to take both parties forward and also ensuring that peace prevail in that specific region, that specific country, or that specific part of the world. Now, for many years, I think it's also a good opportunity or platform for me to have to say that the United Nations Security Council, for good sake, for its reputation, I support this body 100%. But I believe it's high time for the representation of the United Nations Security Council to be proportional, to be in the interest of the world, not interest of the superpowers or emerging powers or major powers. For many years, it has been dominated by certain countries. I appreciate the work that these countries has made or has done or have achievement has that they have accomplished. However, I believe there is a need for equitable representation in the United Nations Security Council. Let Africa has its voice in that body. Let the countries in South America has a voice, a permanent voice in that body. The Caribbean, the ocean, Australia. Can we really, for efficiency and for transparency's sake, can the world agree that we need other players, permanent players in the United Nations Security Council? It needs a reform. And I believe the African Union, which has more than 54 countries, for it not to be permanently employed or represented at UN Security Council is the biggest joke. And I think it's high time for us to correct that wrong. Going forward, I believe if we represent all the countries in the world, where no country feels left out, no region, let's say the Middle East, doesn't feel left out in the UN Security Council. We have so many countries in the Middle East. We have so many countries in Asia. But why are we not, why can't we increase the number of these countries, even to 10, so that we can accommodate these other countries, so that their interest can also be accepted or appreciated or honored, because they are paid up members of or they are members of the United Nations. And I believe it's high time we reform these bodies. Coming to the African Union Peace and Security Council, I believe it also has a big role to play. The big role, and this role should be visible, not only to be taking minutes during meetings, and these meetings at the end of the day, the resolutions are not executed or they are not implemented. What we want to see is tangible results. There have been wars in many countries, wars like in Democratic Republic of Congo, to be specific. The African Union Peace and Security Council, I think they should resolve this issue once and for all. If it's an economic war, can't we find a permanent solution to this? If it needs to be that maybe the country has to be divided into some parts, or the best alternative solution, we need to prioritize it. We have to. Otherwise, we'll be living in a world whereby we are promoting or we are advocating for peace every day, and there are parts where peace is not known. It's only violence after violence. We have countries that have a history of dictatorship, whereby there is no peaceful transfer of power. I think as diplomats, we need to address those issues before they happen, whereby whichever leader is coming in, it has to bomb the current regime out, so that when it comes in the office, it comes and it leads and it become a regime and it become a rogue government, then it will be bombed out of office, then another dictatorship is coming into power. I think these are the issues as diplomats we need to address proactively to ensure that our work is decent. We are making an impact. However, in any case, I would like to add that my vision for the world is to see a better world for all. To see us resorting to dialogue, to see us engaging in discussion and talks to avoid and prevent some of the problems from happening, be it economic, be it health, be it cyber, be it environmental, be it cultural, be it anything. be it trade. I believe as diplomats, we have a role to play. We have a mandate to ensure the world is united and we prevent and avoid unnecessary violence. And my call to action also is, if we have existing contracts or compacts or treaties or pacts, accords, or agreements that have been signed, let's honor these agreements. If we have bilateral or multilateral agreements that are in place, please let them be implemented. Let them be accepted. Let them be made to be working. Let the agreement that we have signed, the covenant that we have been involved in, let it be executed by all of us, by the parties that have agreed to it. I think that's the best way to avoid some of the issues. And as we all know, the craftsmanship, the diplomacies, we have to take a lead. For too long, we have been playing politics. Diplomacy is not about politics. We have to understand politics, of course. The geopolitical, the neopolitical, any kind of political philosophies or ideologies that are happening. But our role is to ensure, our role is to promote peace. Our role is to find a meaningful and permanent solutions to key problems using the best tactic and strategies. The compromise and the consensus that we brought on the table should be able to be agreed upon by all parties. This is fundamental. This is profound. This is one of our number one task in the world. And I stand with all the diplomats. I support your work. I appreciate your work. I value and recognize the efforts that you are putting in as diplomats. And I also want to work together with you worldwide, all countries. I'm willing and I'm ready and I'm prepared to work with you to see how best we can learn from each other. I also want to listen to you, and I also want to take a lead in this very noble professional career. Therefore, you are all welcome to reach out to me, and I'm welcome to receive or to accept your invitations wherever in the world, just for us to have a platform or a society or club or a forum where we share our ideas, where we discuss pertinent issues that are happening in the world, and where also we engage each other on the best possible solution to challenges and to problems that are happening in the world. My call to ambassadors, attaches, counselors, and all who are in the foreign mission are set up. Colleagues, we have a role to play. We are being posted on those assignments with trust, with the confidence of the appointing authorities wherever they are, for us to make sure we honor the values of diplomacy. We are not there for prestige or for honor or for any other reason beyond serving our nations or our countries or our organizations. It's high time for us to really do our part and to avoid some of the problems that can be avoided. I see unending wars, crises that are happening in the world. But how do we best engage each other as diplomats? How do we reach an agreement that will be acceptable, that is a win-win, that is a compromised one, that is an agreement that can be subjected to monitoring and evaluation to see if the situation has improved or not. Not only to attend international meetings and United Nations General Assembly and come back with nothing. I think these are avenues where we need to really be efficient when we have talks with bodies such as the European Union, the Asian, the Caribbean member states, or whichever you can think of. The American organizations, they are there. We should be able to really create a forum for improvement, for improving our working relations, for uniting ourselves, for keeping up with our agreements and consensus that we have reached, for honoring all what we have discussed. Therefore, I sincerely wish the diplomats worldwide and the upcoming diplomats worldwide to be extra professional, to go an extra mile always to preserve this profession. Count on me, I'll count on you. Let's make this world a better place. And one day, if we have to, with technology on our hands, on the palm of our hands, with emerging adventures, with emerging discoveries, we might be living at different planets very soon. I might be seeing some people living in Mars. We will make the universe a better place if we take this profession serious, if we help each other. And I also want diplomatic academies, please, may you please reconsider your prices, the charges of your school fees, so that you can accommodate more diplomats. More people have passion, they have a desire, they have the hunger to pursue this profession, but they can't afford. But us, we will be trying our best to make sure that we are equipped with the right skills, knowledge, to make this profession the best and one of the trusted professions in the world. So, coming back to diplomacy in a diplomatic crisis, we are facing a crisis, different crises, like I have said. But my call or my understanding is that every situation we need to apply the correct remedy for it to get us to the better solutions, or for us to find a permanent answer to whatever situation may it be. If wars are fought based on tribal or economic or political or religious, let's unite the religions. Let's unite the tribes. Let's unite, let's work together. Let's have the economies that are not biased. Let's have trade that is decent. Let's do away with all this unnecessary tariff, unnecessary punishment, unnecessary taxes, and so forth. Let's create an environment whereby we'll be able to understand each other, we'll be able to embrace each other, and we'll make this place, of course, a better place. I mean, we'll make this world a better place for all to live in. Let's end poverty, because poverty also is the root cause of some of the problems. And let's engage in consultations, conferences, the dialogues that we have, especially in our foreign affairs or foreign policies. Interests should not be interest to promote slavery or apartheid or all kind of social ills. Our foreign policy should be drafted in a way, or should be crafted in a way, that they will promote peace and prosperity for all. Let's be careful when we are drafting foreign policies for our countries. In our negotiations or discussions and talk as countries, we should honor them at all cost. Let's honor all our discussion. Let's honor all our agreements, so that we will all be proud of the world that we are living in, without unnecessary wars, unnecessary conflict, unnecessary riots and protests. Of course, we need to promote also democracy and the rule of law. These are the values that we need to embrace. And if there is another governing system that works, let's embrace it. So with this, I thank you all for my attention, and I look forward to be working with fellow diplomats worldwide. Let's engage, let's continue the discussion, and let's make this world a better place for our generation, and let's make sure that we pass to the next generation a world that is filled with peace, love, and prosperity for all humanity. Thank you.